Hello, hello, hello. Okay, hang on. Let me just get over off of Streamlabs and get to YouTube. Where is YouTube? Okay, YouTube. There's YouTube. Okay, there. Is that my notification? Let's see. Live chat. I'm going to make sure in live chat. Always forget silly live chat. I don't know who wants top chat. You think at a board meeting they would have just like stopped that, like really. Anyway, they should have had something that would hide people if they were spamming the chat or something. But come on, live chat, top chat, it's ridiculous. So today I had plans to get a lot of things done. I did manage to get Carol's stuff packed up, but I couldn't do any shipping or anything because I actually did her packing while my electricity was out. And then what did I do? Then I just packed it up, couldn't do anything else there. I did the painting video because I was just going to paint anyway because there was much I could do. And then finally came back on. I don't understand why it was out because we didn't have a storm or anything. And then I went for a really nice bike ride, almost 6 miles, so that was good. And it was a little cool for swimming. I really wanted to go swimming, but it was only like topping at 70 degrees, and right now it's like 55 degrees or 50, is that 53 or 55? 55. Isn't that crazy? And it was like chilly. There was like a chill even in the 70 degrees. So yeah, I wasn't gonna do that anyway. So the big news of the day, right, is the Karen Reed mistrial. Hi Liz Tops. Hi Kevin Leonard. Kevin had experienced that. Kept asking me, when's our electricity coming on? When's our electricity coming on? We could barely get cell service. It was like we had 2 tin cans across the lake. Nuts. But anyway, so Karen Reed mistrial. And now they're going to have another trial, but the chief investigator, Michael Proctor, he was relieved of it's Canada Day today. Oh, happy Canada Day. This is your brain. This is your brain in my hands. Okay. Anyway, where was I saying, Liz? What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, Michael Proctor. He was relieved of his duties, and a reporter went there to talk to him. And you know what? He told her to get the F off my lawn, even though she was sitting in the street. And then the guy's wife came by and looked, she was barefoot and like some 70s gym shorts on. And she's like, get off our lawn. Get off our lawn. She's like, I'm standing in the street, ma'am. And then she's like, I fully support my husband. Get off our lawn. Oh, and then she goes, Karen Reed is a murderer. Karen Reed is a murderer. But he got relieved of his duties, and that's because of misconduct of his that came out during the trial. You watched that trial? Oh, you should come up and talk. Do you want to come up and talk about it if you watched the whole trial, Liz? Do you want to do it? Do you want to come up on panel and talk all about it? Liz, you're taking a long time to answer. If anybody else wants to call in, you want to call in? You can call in about the Karen Reed trial if you'd like. Thanks. What did I do with that brain? Where'd the brain go? Pinky and the brain. Pinky and the brain. So I was waiting for Luz to answer, but I don't think Luz wants to come up. That's why I stopped talking. And then I was just squeezing this brain. But I was going to go off this screen, so I just wanted to see if she was going to answer. But I think, what I am going to do is do something over here. Okay, now let's see. So prosecutors saying they are going to try it again, okay? Judge declared a mistrial on Monday. The jurors were deadlocked. There's nothing they could do. Prosecutors say they intend to retry the case, and the defense, of course, claims that Karen Reed was framed by the police, okay? On the fifth day of deliberation, the judge, sent Beverly Canoni notes saying that they remained at an impasse in the case involving the January 2022 death of John O'Keefe. Within moments, the trial that had lasted 2 months and had over 600 pieces of evidence and more than 70 witnesses was over. Folks, this is what it looks like when you bring false charges against an innocent person, defense attorney Alan Jackson said. And he's not the country singer, okay? On the steps of the courthouse. The Commonwealth did their worst. They brought the weight of the state based on spurious charges, based on compromised investigation and investigators and compromised witnesses. Guess what? They failed. Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk District Attorney, thanked the O'Keefe family in a statement for their commitment and dedication to the long process, saying, and I quote, they maintained sight of the true core of this case to find justice for John O'Keefe. All right, so let's see. I was going to tell you about now. A turning point in the case came when State Trooper Michael Proctor, that's the trooper that's been relieved of his duties, the lead investigator on the case, took the stand. He acknowledged sending offensive texts about Reed to friends, family, and fellow troopers. During the investigation, he apologized for the language he used, but he insisted they had no influence on the investigation. In his text, he called Reed several names, including a whack job. At one point, he texted his sister that he wished Reed would take her own life, but he didn't say it that way, which he told jurors was just a figure of speech. Despite having relationships with several witnesses, he remained on the case. On Monday, Massachusetts State Police relieved him of his duties, saying the move followed the agency's previous decision to open an internal affairs investigation after getting information about potential serious misconduct As part of the disciplinary process, he will face a hearing at which officials will decide how to proceed with his employment. 2 expert witnesses hired by the U.S. Department of Justice during the investigation handling the case for the defense provided a scientific analysis of the conclusion that O'Keefe's injuries and the physical evidence didn't sync with the prosecution's theory that he was struck and injured by Karen Reed's 7,000-pound vehicle. O'Keefe had significant head injury and other injuries, but he lacked significant bruising or broken bones, which would be typically associated with getting hit by a vehicle at a speed of rate indicated by the GPS and the SUV's onboard computer. Okay, let's see. So Turtle Boy, who has been very connected to this case, Aiden Timothy Kearney, website and social media posts have attacked the prosecution's case for a month, calls the ruling bittersweet. It's not the outcome that we wanted. I wanted full vindication, but in my mind, the fact that so many people in the jury clearly are aware, the majority clearly is with Karen Reed. It's a small minority that is just stubborn and won't look at the facts and won't be impartial. It's just judging her based on not liking her. Okay. Okay, and let me get what Michael Proctor being relieved of his duties, but on the lawn thing. Okay. So, like I said, he said, get off my lawn. She said, I fully support my husband. Karen Reed is a murderer. Get off our lawn. Get off our lawn. Upon learning today's result, the department took immediate action to relieve Trooper Michael Proctor of duty, formally transferred him out of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office State Police Detectives Unit. Colonel John Maughan, interim superintendent of the Massachusetts State Police, wrote in a statement. There's a lot of comments about him just being, if you watch that video on Twitter or whatever, he left his wife out there to, walk in by herself. If there's anything else there in this. So there's not a lot of love there in the comments for them. So let me go back and see what you guys have to say. Did anybody here watch this trial? I mean, we studied the case and stuff, but different trials going on at the time, and just So let me go back and see what you guys have to say. Did anybody? Hey, all the watching. Hi, all the. I can't even read what Scooter's saying. Why can't I read? Oh. Hi, all. Okay. Hi, all fans watching from the bushes. Your favorite channel is live. Wop, wop. Let's go to your crazy. Okay. Please hit the likes. Yeah. But Scooter, yeah, I'm surprised. Hi, Sherry. How are you? That you didn't watch this because you normally watch these trials. I'm surprised you didn't watch this one. This one seems like it would be up your alley. Sherry, did you watch this trial? Did you watch it, Sherry? Oh, Sherry, did you watch this trial? I don't know. I'll have to see if Sherry watched this trial. I know what I can do. Hang on a minute. Hang on a moment. Where the heck? Hang on. I just had this thing. Wait a minute, Sherry. I just have to take care of something here. Okay. I had to do something. Now. What did I just do? Okay. Just wanted to put something here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, okay, Sherry, I'm going to come back and see if you've been watching the trial. Sorry. Okay, Sherry, have you been watching the trial? Let's see, I see you're answering. Hold on, I've got it. You know what it is? My resolution on my computer is not right. So give me a second here to make this the right resolution so I can see what you're saying. All right, here we go. So, Mrs. O. Hang on, Mrs. O. I want to read what you're saying, okay? Oh, let me hope that that stupid thing is okay on my Streamlabs. I have to go into the back office. This one here. Let me make sure my stuff is excellent. Okay, so that I thought that would reset back to that stupid other thing all the time. Okay, so you're saying that Mrs. O, I think so too. All right, so you say Mrs. O says, Mrs. O, you want to call in? You can email me for the number if you want to call in. I'd love to have some people call in. We used to do that all the time. So Mrs. O says, oh my gosh, Mrs. O, you don't understand. Every time I'm trying to read your comment, something pops up in front of it. It's like a joke. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to try it third time. I do believe she is guilty, but the case was a mess. Okay, you do believe she was guilty, right? You're saying you believe she was guilty, Mrs. O? What about what they say about the injuries? Let's see here. What else Mrs. O says? Sherry says yes. You think she's guilty too, Sherry? Yes, I think she did it in anger while intoxicated, but doesn't really want to admit it. And Sherry says she thinks so too. And then Debbie says she reached out to a blogger who is very controversial. That's Turtle Boy. And that was shady and screams of guilt, in your opinion. Known for conspiracy theories and smoke and mirrors. Oh, okay. And then Sherry says, Debbie, I watched it on, and he would get, okay. We don't talk about that guy here, because he's a very, very nasty, nasty man. Sherry, he's a really nasty guy, and he said something like horrific about my grief and my son's death. Okay? It's disgusting. It's still on my community wall if you want to go see how disgusting what he said was. So I won't mention his name here, and that's why I took your comment out. I don't want his name here. Okay? Because he's a really, really, really disgusting person for what he did. Well, it's not even about mentioning that. It's more so also what he said. You didn't know that? See, a lot of people don't know what all these other people have done to me. But you hear all this crap that they say, you know, because I don't go on 24/7 saying what everyone's done to me. But it's on my community wall. Keep going down. You'll see. Yeah. So, hi, Ralph. So you guys all think she's guilty. But what do you think about this police officer? What's your opinion on that? See, now it's saying you're not receiving enough thing. I'm afraid that I didn't hit that thing again. I don't know why it's saying you're not receiving enough bandwidth. Let me just see if it's dropping any frames. Okay, no, it's saying my stream quality is good, so I'm not going to worry about that on this end. Is everything okay for everybody? It's not doing anything bad, right? Is it? Do you want to come on and talk about it, Mario? You can come on and talk about it. He sure is. I saw that for myself. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, you should, You've been having problems with YouTube for the last couple of days. I'll be the judge listening in. Everything sounds good on my end. You'll be the judge. Did you follow the Karen Reed case? You'll be the judge. What are you judging? Oh, now it says excellent condition again. Okay. Connection condition. Aha. I can't believe how late it is. It's like nuts. Sherry, what do you think about his injuries not having, like, the broken bones and everything? What do you think about that? Do you want to call in? I'll be the judge. Tell me your thoughts in here. Do you think Karen Reed is guilty, or do you think she did this? Oh. Did you hear what I must really be tired. Do you think she's guilty or that she's been framed? I'm sorry, I'm really... Do you think she's guilty or do you think she did this? Do you think she's guilty or do you think they framed her? You think she's not guilty. Okay. That's good. I'd love to hear both of your thoughts. Those of you that think she's guilty, those of you that think she's not guilty. I'd love to have you both come up here and explain your sides. Do you want to call in? I'll be the judge. Do you want to call in? If you want to call in, you can call in. Scooter, you didn't watch it at all? Past my bedtime, I know. You don't want to, you didn't watch it at all, Scooter? Ruff is just as surprised as I am with you not watching it. I watched it a little bit, but you don't understand that part. You saw the evidence. You saw no evidence that proved her guilt. Not really. Okay. So Sherry doesn't understand that part. I'll be the judge. Do you want to explain it? That based on, I guess, the SUV's black box, at the speed she was going and the weight of her car, they're saying that he would have broken bones and everything. Let me know if you want to call in. Hi, Amy. Can we talk about what happened to Elijah View and the plea deal the mom, I'm sure, got for telling what happened? Wait a minute. There's something new with Elijah View? I just looked at that the other day. They still haven't found the little boy. I remember looking at the mother's Facebook page, and you would think she was such a doting mother from that. So what's going on? What's going on with Elijah View? What's going on, Amy? What's going on? You want to call in? You're not familiar with Elijah View, Scooter? We covered that a lot over here. Remember that Facebook page? We looked at the mother. She like this doting mother with her kids, but then she allegedly left him with this guy that said he was going to teach them respect, to teach the kid respect, and he had the kid waiting on the side of his bed, he said, and then they never found the little boy, and he wouldn't necessarily have broken bones, Mrs. O said. Okay. Amy? No evidence to prove how he died, Albie the judge said. No evidence to prove how he died? Okay, so Albie the judge thinks Karen is innocent. Mrs. O thinks Karen is guilty. Sherry thinks Karen's guilty. And Amy wants us to talk about Elijah View. But are you going to call in, Amy? I'll be the judge. Can I ask you, is Karen out? Karen's out on bond, right? Okay. Let me see. I don't see anything on Elijah View. I will tell you that. Something came up yesterday and they said the CW's ME said she did not have enough evidence to prove manner of death. Okay. Yes, she remains out on bond. Okay. So how long is it going to be to have a new trial? It's going to be a long time for all that. Now, let's see something here. Okay, so there is some new news on Elijah View. Plea hearing scheduled for Katrina Bauer later this month. Missing boy Elijah View's mother to change her plea and child neglect. The mother of missing 3-year-old Elijah View plans to change her plea, her attorney said on Monday. Judge, Ms. Bauer would like me to schedule a plea. A judge set Katrina Bauer's plea hearing for July 18th. The attorneys also discussed, hang on a minute here. Also discussed a future sentencing hearing implying that Bauer's plea will result in her conviction. Oh my gosh. And remember her Facebook page, right? You just look like such a great mom. So that's, yeah, probably means, yeah, she's gonna come clean on what happened, right? My Chrome just went down. Okay. Poor little kid. So I'll be the judge says the Commonwealth, the Commonwealth's own me would not prove better death. So you're pretty convinced she's not guilty there, Judge? I'll be the judge. Yeah, pretty convinced that not guilty. Yeah, seems that way, Scooter. I wish you guys would come up and you would talk about it. It's okay. It says that I'll be the judge says Debbie to Scooter Chick. I watched the entire trial and I saw no evidence to prove that he was even hit by a car. I saw evidence which said that was a possibility isn't enough. Okay. I saw no evidence, I'll be the judge said. Okay. And Sherry and what is it, Mrs. O. Yeah, let's have some debate here. That would mean he was also not beat to death and the defense has no case. Okay, wait, let me read what Mrs. O wrote and try to process that. That would mean he was also not beat to death and the defense has no case. Well, the defense doesn't have to prove anything. The defense doesn't have to prove anything. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. So what they're saying that the prosecution saying that she ran over him, backed into him, right, with the SUV and left him in the snowbank to die. If the evidence doesn't point to that, the defense doesn't have to come up with another theory. Just that it's not there. You didn't prove it. You know what I mean? The defense needs no case. It's solely on the CW. Right. So Sherry and Mrs. O, how do you answer I'll be the judge? I'll be the judge says they haven't seen the evidence. Scooter, what do you think in this case? Did you say what you think? Scooter. Commonwealth had theories. That was not enough. Okay. So Sherry and Mrs. O, how do you respond to I'll be the judge? I think the opposing side is great. I wish you guys would come up here and discuss it. That would be great. Because it takes so long for the chat to go through. And it would be nice if you'd come up and discuss it. You don't have to be on camera. You can just email me and I'll give you a phone number. Okay, so 1 second, let me see what we can do here. Okay, I'll be the judge, said no cause of death was confirmed, so how did he die then? Okay, hang on a minute. Let me grab something here. Okay. He was pronounced dead when he was transported to the Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton. He had abrasions to his right arm, several lacerations to his face, 2 black eyes, and skull fractures that would have contributed to brain bleeding. They determined that hypothermia was a contributing factor to O'Keefe's death. Let's see about the... Okay. O'Keefe's brother and sister-in-law, Paul and Erin O'Keefe, took the stand for the prosecution. They described the relationship between Karen Reed and John O'Keefe, and they acknowledged that the brother, Paul, acknowledged that there were arguments between the two, and Erin said she considered Reed as a friend. When asked about the day that John died, Paul recalled seeing Karen Reed in the hospital screaming, asking if John was alive while she was being restrained by hospital employees. Okay, one of the first responders to the scene was a Canton police officer. Oh my gosh, I can't talk tonight. Police officer Steve Seraph testified that Karen Reed appeared to be giving O'Keefe CPR and was visibly upset. She repeatedly asked if O'Keefe is dead and said, "This is my fault." The defense pointed out that Officer Seraph's initial report did not include what Reed said, but included the statement when he testified to the grand jury in April of 2022. And that's according to the defense attorney, Alan Jackson, that not including the quote, "This is my fault," was an important omission. 4 paramedics testified and said that Karen Reed was saying, "I hit him," repeatedly at the scene. After the testimony from paramedics, the defense raised questions about the ties between Canton firefighter and paramedic Katie McLaughlin and the Albert family. When asked about the relationship with Brian Albert's daughter, Caitlin Albert, she acknowledged that they went to high school together and that they are only acquaintances. However, the defense later accused McLaughlin of perjury after dozens of pictures of them emerged, including one from June of 2021. Okay. let's see what the medical and forensics, okay? The emergency room doctor at Good Sam Hospital said O'Keefe was unresponsive, intubated, hypothermic, and in cardiac arrest with no pulse. They ordered a blood alcohol test on Reed. She had a blood alcohol content of 0.093 over the legal limit of 0.08. Okay. Now, State Police Crime Lab, a method, let's see. O'Keefe's injuries could either come from a fall or a traffic collision, said the medical examiner, Dr. Renee Stonebridge. A medical examiner, Dr. Irini Scoribello, described the autopsy findings and noted that the manner of death was undetermined, as she did not have enough information. She noted that the injuries are not immediately lethal, but he could have been incapacitated. She said O'Keefe's injuries could come from a fall, being hit with a blunt object, or being hit with a car. When asked if the injuries are consistent with being hit by a car at 24 miles per hour, she said it's likely and unlikely at the same time. It's likely and unlikely at the same time. Well, thanks for that clarification. Oh boy. Dr. Marie Russell, Dr. Daniel Wolf, and Dr. Andrew Rensler were called by the defense. They were both experts from ARCCA, an engineering consulting firm. And Dr. Russell stated that the injuries on O'Keefe's arms were consistent with dog bites. The two experts both said injuries were not consistent with being hit by a car. A mistrial was declared by the judge. Yeah, okay, let's see. So I don't know, guys. There you have that. The judge said no cause of death was confirmed, so how did he die then? So they're saying it could be this, could be that. I don't know. Likely and unlikely at the same time. Reasonable doubt. Yeah. Reasonable doubt, I'll be the judge. Correct. There is reasonable doubt. I mean, if that's the case there, I don't know. I don't know, guys. What about the misconduct of the lead investigator? What do you think about that, the misconduct? I'm going to start a new Zoom anyway. Maybe some people want to come up that are in Zooms. Don't get nervous because I'm coming right back. I'm not leaving. I'm just here. I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here. I'm still here, even though it looks like I'm in a tent. I'm still here. I'm just doing a new Zoom. I'm starting a new Zoom. In case anybody wants to call in, you can call in. Everybody was so afraid the Zoom was going to end. Oh my gosh, but it didn't. Now I just ended it. Okay, so buttons on a shirt. You'll call in for a bit. Great, Mrs. O. I'm glad you're going to call in. All right, I'm going to send you the link, Mrs. O. Mrs. O, Mrs. O. I'm going to send you the link. hold on, my email is loading up. It's ridiculous. Hang on. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to control the number. As soon as this thing wants to cooperate. And I'll be the judge. You want to come on? Sherry, you want to come on? You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be scared. Oh my gosh, this is taking so long. Come on. All right, that's sent. Oh, brother. Trying to close down some windows, but now it wants to be all jerky to me, you know? Jonah has an enemy. Just come on whenever you get that email. I'm still trying to get back to the live chat. My computer is being a little jerk. Oh, there you are, Mrs. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mrs. O.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh,
Okay, so tell us about this, because like a lot of us, we were in like a couple of other trials and we just didn't get to, watch this fully over here. So tell us like why you have your point of view, and what convinced you of that the most.
Well, I think that for me, it's the fact that I myself have been to a point where I've been intoxicated, where I might not remember things that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And although the argument might be, well, if you hit somebody with a car, I'm pretty sure you would remember something like that. But that's not completely accurate. And I know it's a little far-fetched, and a lot of people might say, oh, well, it is not the same thing. But when people are angry, for example, I watched a documentary once where I don't know if anybody has seen it, but it's like about like it's called The Punch or something in that nature. It's basically a person gets angry, they're at a bar, they're fighting. One person punch somebody, they fall, they hit the back of their head or the front of their head, and they died.
Oh.
So when I think of something like that, I think it's just the punch. So if somebody backs up into a person, he could have fallen, hit his head. She was intoxicated.
She didn't
doesn't
even know.
remember.
Are you saying like? Are you
Yeah,
saying yeah? Because
I
I
don't
mean,
think
this
she
could be
didn't
like
remember.
she didn't even know he got out of the car. She thought he was going into the house. She hits him, doesn't even know. Is that what you're saying? Goes home.
Or she could have done it in anger in the moment. I mean, even like if, for example, I know like again, I'm going a little ahead, but like the whole Jody area. So we all know, that that's
Right.
something that she did. But
Yeah.
she sometimes would even say she doesn't remember in the fit of rage. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but like with
and
Jody Arias, like shit, that was violent. Like, I mean,
right,
shot him,
right. But
stabbed him, everything. I mean, how could
when
you,
you're,
yeah.
yeah. But when you're very angry, like
But you
sometimes
know
I've
what?
been
Like
in a
Sarah Boone, did you
situation.
follow Sarah Boone at all?
Yes,
Okay.
I follow all the cases. I'm
Oh,
like
okay, good.
really
Well, I've never seen
into.
you here. I hope you come around more often. Um,
I've actually called before in the past.
did
I've
you?
called
Oh,
in,
okay.
yeah,
All
long
right.
time ago.
Okay.
But I don't think that the case, I think the case was overcharged. I do believe that. I do believe that they did a great job with the whole, the reasonable doubt aspect. I do
Right.
believe that the professionalism tainted the case. And but when you really look at the situation, I don't understand why everybody would rather believe that there's a whole group of people trying to frame a woman
Right.
when she could have done this without even knowing herself. And even at the end, I don't think that she should be charged for like murder, like she maliciously did it. I think that yes, she could have. She was really drunk.
Right.
I think she did it out of anger because they were fighting. She doesn't remember it. So because she doesn't remember, she believes that she didn't do it. And so I don't believe that she needs to go for, ever. Of course, she needs to take somebody needs to be held responsible for that. In regards to the dog thing and the dog bites, I don't think that's the case because I've been in a situation where there was a person, a very close person to me that got struck by a vehicle, and I was there when it happened.
Right.
So she was hit head on, so I could understand the force of head on. That would
Right.
impact the body and it would make it like, go up. But then I kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
think the logic of like falling into snow. I don't remember how much snow was on the floor or how much snow was there when this happened, but you do know like the chances of like when you make a snow angel, you
Right.
kind of drop yourself and you're there. So there's some kind of not cushion, but there's something that could break it. But I do think that that could have eliminated some of the broken bones. But I do believe he hit his head. He became unconscious. Nobody knew he was there, and that's pretty much what ended up happening.
But are they
It's a
saying that
tragedy.
she backed up at 24 miles an hour?
Yes. And that's very possible because if you've ever like when you're driving in like a 25, it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you do it in an abrupt motion and you easily get that speed, it's very likely that the impact was a little harsher. The back again to the punching somebody in that documentary I watched. It's just a punch directly to, and it wasn't the punch that killed the
Right.
person,
It's a
it was the
fall.
fall. So that's where I think ended up happening. And, it's a tragic situation. It's really messy, but I still don't believe, oh my gosh, she's a horrible person. I feel like her mistake was drinking so much. And his mistake was getting in the car. Like, the mistake was probably the whole relationship as a whole, but, we're not going to get to that point. It was unavoidable, but it's just the whole thing is a tragedy to
Yeah.
me. And that's how I feel about it. I don't have any like animosity,
Right,
like I don't
right,
like her,
right.
I
Yeah,
can't stand, like it's
I
not
mean,
even
there's
like,
things that could happen, like just like I mean,
yeah.
Sarah Boone. I thought like before, like, did she just do a goofy thing, be drunk? Like before I saw the video,
Yeah, there was
go
resentment in her and she purposely,
right.
she
But
left
just
a
no, just
note.
like no. I mean, when I first started with the case discovery, before I saw the video, and I just saw that okay, she said like, oh, she put him in there and they were playing hide. I didn't believe they were playing hide and seek, but I
Hmm.
believed she could have been mad and he somehow she got him in the suitcase, and then they were
Hmm.
so intoxicated that I thought she could have been thinking like, oh, I'm going to teach him a lesson, leave him here for 5 minutes, and then falling asleep.
I will tell you a personal story of mine. I am currently now 2 years sober because I I couldn't handle alcohol. Alcohol was a very problematic for me. And I remember one time um, I was drinking so much and I just lost track of everything. But when I woke up the next day, my house was like torn apart. My tables were broken, glass was everywhere. I don't remember any of it, but I know I did it. Does that make sense?
You did
So
it?
I
Yeah.
I did it. I know I did it because my husband recorded me doing it.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't believe myself. I was like, that, how could I do that? I don't remember doing that at all. So that's why, on a personal note, I can understand that she could have done that
Right.
without knowing and remembering, because that's a pretty high alcohol level she had.
Right.
And it's, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know if that
You know,
anybody
but
else
yeah, but I
feels
mean,
that
that
way,
did that
but
woman like? Did she know she had it? Was she just like so drunk and she was just like, "That's it, I'm leaving," and not even realize thought she hit snow and pulled out of there. Um,
I don't think she has any memory of it. If I'm like just as a whole, I don't think she remembers any of it. So her defense is doing did a great job. I mean, without a doubt, I will give them that. They did great because all you need is reasonable doubt. All you need is, you know, you they
right.
did great. But at the end, she wasn't found not guilty, and that's one thing that gets to me because I'm like, it's not over. And the likelihood of her getting convicted the next time around is actually higher based on statistics. So
Yeah.
there's a higher chance for her to get convicted.
Okay. They're saying now. I'll be the judge. Said they were saying she backed up at 24 miles an hour. He was thrown 30 feet. He was thrown. Oh, I didn't know that he was thrown 30 feet. Wow, 30 feet is a long way. So he was
30
just.
feet?
That's what I'll be the judge is saying. That he was hit at 24 miles an hour and he was thrown 30 feet, which caused no bruises or broken bones other than hitting his head on the ground.
Well, my sister, when we were kids, she was we were trying to cross the street and she was hit by a car, and the car was going approximately that speed. And when she fell on the concrete, she actually all that happened was she luckily, I guess because of the way she landed, I don't know, she only ended up with sprained knee. So I think it has to do a lot with many variables. It's not a one thing
Oh yeah,
answer.
yeah. Of course, yeah. Where you hit, how, yeah. It's everything. So many things. Um,
Yeah, so I mean, I understand the conviction, the passion of people, and even me, I'm not out there. She needs to go, like, no, or rot in hell. It's not like that. Of course,
right, right, right.
I'm not the judge here. I'm not a judgmental person. I don't. It's somebody's life. It's her life, his life, their families, the people that are affected by it that really, at the end, are suffering the most. We're just, on the outside. We can have opinions, we could whatever, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's a loss on both sides. She has to live again through another trial. She has to go through it again, which is like,
Right, and this was long. This is 2 months.
oh, that was the longest thing, and I was like, every day I was watching like the verdict watch, and I was just like, my husband was like, stop watching it, you're gonna go crazy. And I'm like, no, I need to know. Like, I don't want them to find her guilty of like murder because that would be unfair. But I also feel like she does need to be held accountable for something because, defense is gonna have their witnesses. They're both gonna have their witnesses, and they're both gonna tell, their side. So we don't actually will ever know exactly what happened.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know. I just thought, I heard there were like 24,000 people just watching a ceiling fan.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah, and
it's
the
like
verdict watch,
the
the
celebrity.
verdict watch, they were still in the law and crime, and I was, yeah. So now I'll be the judge. Said exactly, Mrs. O. She had only a she had only a sprain, she had no broken bones or bruises, and she did not die, because at that speed you would expect to see the injuries your sister had.
If she would have gotten hit and maybe hit her head on the concrete, then she would have probably, something worse could have happened. So I don't agree with that. I'll be the judge because, again, we don't know how he was. Again, he was also intoxicated, so his balance wasn't also, the greatest. So he could have, because one of the things that they do say is that there was blunt force to the head, so therefore he hit his head somewhere, which is why he became unconscious, which is why he was in the snow for so long, which is why he died of hypothermia. Or basically, what else could it have been? Because I mean, he was sitting out there laying in the snow for so long. So,
But nobody
That's
left
what-
that house that, like, before after she left, nobody
yeah,
left
I don't
that.
think he went in the house. I don't believe that.
No, I don't think he went. I mean, I'm saying, no, I'm just saying what, like, I'll be the judge said that if the Commonwealth is
Oh.
saying that he was thrown 30 feet and ended up somewhere, like, no one else left that house that whole night and next morning that would have seen him?
I mean, if I'm partying and I'm drinking and I probably am not paying attention. Not even paying attention to my feet sometimes, I'm just, why am I gonna look? I'm not even paying attention. A person who's drinking, I mean, isn't even paying attention to, the walkways or not paying attention to the ground. You're just kind of
Yeah,
hovering
see,
around.
I'll be the judge is saying, like, but the evidence did not prove what you're saying. I understand you think it might happen, but you have to prove it. Yeah, like, the burden of proof is on the
No,
Commonwealth.
I agree with that.
And yeah, I'll be the judge is just saying that they don't think that the prosecution proved their case.
I mean, it's the same thing. The prosecution could say, this is how it happened, this is what we believe, because that's why they're bringing the case forward, but they also don't know exactly what happened. Therefore, the defense is going to come in and could say, hey, the aliens did it. And then everybody could jump on that and say, yeah, that's what happened, But for it to become a whole thing of a conspiracy of everybody's trying to frame her, it's like she was the irresponsible one behind the wheel, drinking, driving, in a relationship that she knew wasn't the healthiest. She could have walked away herself too. He could have walked away. It was like all of those things came in
Yeah.
and came together and is why this situation is. It's not because she was like this great person. Somebody once told me, well, she's not a dumb person. She's a very intelligent woman and she's educated. I said, well, she might be educated and she might have all the degrees that you want, but she was still dumb enough to drink and drive. So it
Right.
it doesn't make any sense. So again, I do believe that they did great. The defense did great by her. She has a great team by her, and the whole point of having an attorney in the defense is to, fight the charges. And nobody wants to go to jail. I mean, if I was in a situation, I would want to have the best defense and whatever it takes if I don't want to go to prison.
Right.
But that's just the human nature.
Right. And what is
But they do the
his family wants? Okay. His family. How do they feel about her?
Oh, you asking me what I?
No.
how they feel about it?
Does John O'Keefe's family feel towards Karen Reed?
I don't think that they particularly liked her. I don't think that she was like very welcomed in that
Right.
circle. Does that make sense? I feel like they didn't think either she was too problematic, or either they were both together not healthy and they saw that, or maybe they just didn't like her for him because, and it wasn't really their decision. That was his decision.
Right.
because he was
But
with her,
I mean, how do they feel now? Are they like, oh, she's a murderer, she need justice for our son, our brother, or whatever? Or are they like,
They haven't really said anything. They're very quiet about it. Of course, they don't want to go through this again. They're brokenhearted. They just wanted it, to be over. I don't know. They actually haven't even spoken very well about what they believe, but I know that during the trial, they didn't really look like they were too friendly with her. Like they didn't really like. I personally think that they believe that she did do it.
Okay, and I'll be the judge said yes. 5 people left after they said it happened, and they all said they did not see a body, but our system of justice does not allow the prosecution to say what might have happened. Everyone was drinking for 5 hours, not just Karen Reed.
Yeah, and my point exactly. If everyone was drinking, nobody was in their right mind to be looking around for a body or anything around there.
Right.
So it's not, you know. But I do agree with Alfie the judge. You are correct. It's not based on assumptions. It's based on, it's the same thing if she would have been found, let's just say she would have been found guilty, right? Well, now in this case, because she's found guilty, then all these people that were in the house that are being brought and said, hey, your dog did this, or hey, you guys did it, and you're the ones that did it, and you just, let him out there to die. Now these people could come and say, defamation. They could say, no, you shouldn't, you know what I mean? So it just becomes a bigger mess. And that's what I don't understand. Why isn't it so more like when you look at logic, let's just say it's not the case. When you just look at a logic and you look at the scenario and you say, well, this is more likely than that. And,
Right.
it's just the justice system is there to protect us and to, we all have the right to a fair trial, and this trial was just a disaster. I hope that they do it differently the next time and things are like, because
Well,
I don't think
how
she
long
would,
how
like, if they
long
were
do
to
you
give
think
her
it'll
like a
take
page.
to prepare for another trial?
Wow. I honestly think it's going to take more than like maybe another year. Because I mean, it's almost like they got to get their ducks in a row again, and it's like
Yeah,
they're
they've
going
got
to
to get, yeah.
reconsider not doing the charge for, murder. Maybe they might want to do like the lesser charges that they had on what was the one that was it in like manslaughter? Because there was some, they're going to get her for like drinking, the DUI, all that stuff. That's something that, because somebody was saying, I don't know if was it on Court TV? Or I don't know. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
That's no, that's
On
okay. You
another,
could mention Court TV, yeah.
okay, they were talking about how if maybe the prosecution is going to come and try to like have a plea deal with her or do something, but again, because she doesn't if she doesn't believe that she did it, I can understand that. But it's not her job to steer people to believe that somebody else did it. It's her attorney. Do you know what I mean? She shouldn't
Right.
be out there saying, you know who did it and they
Right. She
did it.
doesn't
And
have
she
to
shouldn't
prove what
have that.
happened. Yeah. Just, yeah.
She needs to just keep her mouth shut and let her attorneys do the talking, because now she's making herself out look like she's a victim. And
Yeah.
it's like, if you get found not guilty in the next trial, go ahead. You can file a lawsuit, you can do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, she's still not out there advocating to, find who, even if that's what she believes, like she doesn't like show that she has care for him. That was her boyfriend. Like, I can't understand how she has no like love. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't sympathize with the loss. She doesn't show any emotion
Well,
towards that.
but they were saying, what about those people that were saying, like, she was giving him CPR and, is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? And she could, okay, and you have to take the other thing, she could be in shock.
Yeah, or she could be questioning at that point if she did it, and she's like, "No, I don't want this to happen." Like,
Right, she could be totally in shock though, and when something
yeah,
tragic like that happens, it will take away all your emotions when you're in shock. And so you could look like, you're not anything, like you're just nothing, and it's the shock. And I could see I think you would go into shock if somebody you loved you love,
Yeah.
right, is dead in the snow, and that's where you came from last night. That I think that would put a person into shock. So I don't know if we can really, say something for like her actions there, but let's see, the owner of the house, I'll be the judge, said was the police officer, and law enforcement never searched the house, if you can believe it. Now, let's see, it says 3 of the people in the house that night claimed they never spoke after they left that night. Even the phone records prove otherwise. They said that it was 9 plus butt dials.
I butt dial people all the time. I don't know what to say about that. To be like, butt dialing is so common for me that I can't even like find that as an oddity.
Right,
really
but
can't.
usually you have to like be, because there's usually codes or even like a finger, whatever you want to say, a shape to get into someone's phone. I mean, the time that happens that I will call somebody that I don't intend is like if I just get off a phone call with someone and you have that whole list of like recent calls or something, and I grab my phone, sometimes it'll go to like a recent call and I'll just start calling that number. But usually people have a code to get into their phone, so if they weren't just recently on a call, I can't imagine that many. But they also just deleted phone calls. The homeowner and the other man there destroyed their phones the day before they were supposed to turn them over to the police.
Oh yeah, they did do some very shady things. No
Right. But
question
now
about
could that also be that they destroyed their phones because there was other stuff they didn't want discovered? Like,
Yeah, I mean, they could be having an affair. They
right,
could
or
be,
yeah,
you know.
or something, maybe an Ashley Madison thing or whatever, that they didn't want discovered. I mean, it could be, we don't know, but yeah, I don't know. There's just
And in regards to the whole fact of Proctor doing the whole, saying all these things about her, like I can't like a lot of times people can say, oh, the police departments are corrupt, and a lot of the times they could say that, but sometimes they're very united. They love one another. So when somebody looks at it in a different point and says, "Wow, an officer, you know, one of their own was is dead, one of their own." So of course, if they're going to say, "Well, what happened to him? Where were they last?" And they're going to say, "Oh, he was with her the last time." Well, then she did it, and they can have anger, and they can say, "Oh, I hate her. She's this," and I mean, anybody could have those feelings, and especially, but of
yeah,
course, if he's in ahead, he's the one in charge. He should have like not done that, because then that makes it look like he's very immature, he's very
right,
unprofessional, he's like I
right.
understand that, but it still doesn't mean that they're framing her like to go from one to
Right,
another, like the
yeah.
whole defense thing. It's too far.
Right, let's
It's too
see it. The
far.
men who destroyed their phones were both law enforcement, so they knew to keep the phone evidence. Yeah, but I'll be the judge. What if they had something, let's just say, okay, they had something incriminating, but not because of this, but because maybe they're having an affair. Maybe they are having an affair with someone else in the department. Like something they didn't want to come out. Maybe they had, incriminating photos on their phones and stuff like that, videos, and they didn't want any of that discovered. I don't know. Maybe even with their wives or whatever they had on there. Who knows? Maybe they're swingers. Maybe there's something they didn't want to come out. You know what I mean? So could it be that it was something else entirely, not something related to this? But then, they destroyed their phones, they were never able to get that information?
Mm-hmm.
No? So then that's not known. And then that, in and of itself, could create the reasonable doubt, right? Why did they destroy their phones? So, yeah, I think
I
it's...
mean, we all have secrets. We all
Yeah.
have secrets. It's just normal. Everybody has a secret of sorts, and that you don't want other people to know.
I think it's going to
So-
be a hard case to prove with all that stuff. You know, there's going to be a lot of reasonable doubt, it seems.
And I do see here that I'll be the judge directly asking if I've ever butt dialed someone 9 times when someone was laying
Oh, yeah,
dead
someone
on
laying dead on your
lawn.
lawn.
That's a little, uncalled for. Like, we're not talking about my personal. I mean, all I'm saying is I'm not sitting here saying.
I think they're just trying to say, okay, you might have butt dialed
No, the
somebody, but do
answer
you
is
think
no.
you could butt dial somebody, 9 times?
I mean, it's just like as much as my people might think it's not probable. It could be.
It could,
possible.
and maybe that, I mean, I don't know, I mean, there's always someone that's going to play the devil's advocate, right?
No, they said that they were their thing was that they said that their phone was in the bed with them and that they had it in their bed because they have children, so they have to have it, close by. I used to sleep with my phone under my pillow,
Uh-huh.
and in the middle of the night, sometimes, I would hit a button because I wouldn't have the lock screen on it or anything.
Okay.
And accidentally touch it, and then the music would turn on, or little things like that. So these phones are very sensitive. So, but yeah, 9 times with a body in my lawn, I really can't relate to that. That's a little far.
Yeah. Well, the problem is a man's dead on the lawn. The timing is a huge problem. There is more reasonable doubt in this case than in any case I've ever watched. And I have been watching cases 25 years, I think. I do agree with you on that. I mean, just in the little I've heard, there is like doubt of what could have happened, right? Is there enough reasonable doubt that it'll lock up another jury, get them, have them deadlocked, and...
I mean, I think that a lot of the time, in this particular case, the problem is that it is very like, it's kind of like reaching the point where it's like a 50-50, which is what makes it even harder because just the same amount of people, just because there's people at the courthouse supporting her, it doesn't mean that there's not just as much people that believe that she's guilty. Like, it just doesn't mean that they're out there,
Right.
standing there. It's like the whole thing with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing. Like, that was chaotic. That was like,
Yeah.
to me, that was a circus show. I
yeah.
did not enjoy that trial one
Well,
bit.
that
Kinda
trial is the one that changed trials because if you remember, like, Law and Crime, prior to that, their trials, they'd have like max 1,000 people watching, right? Then that case came, and oh my gosh, people that had never watched a trial in their life came and watched that case, and that really tipped the scales. And a lot of those people had never been at a trial. Their questions they would ask would be like ridiculous to anybody that's like covering these things. But what it did was so many of them got into it. And then now the numbers, like, I don't know if it hadn't been that case, that really just pulled so many people in that trial, that Johnny Depp trial. That's when everything like shifted. Like we were all saying, like Scooter Evers, like, oh my gosh, like I think wasn't there like 400,000 people watching on some days?
Yeah, I think the one that was before that was like the O.J. Simpson and the Menendez
Yeah, but it wasn't here.
Those
But
were
we
like-
didn't have YouTube, right? So yeah, that was on.
Exactly.
If that would have been you, but I'm saying as of YouTube, on Law and Crime, like all the trials we were covering, literally 1,000, 1,200 would be max that was there, and then Johnny Depp came, and it was just like, oh my gosh. everybody was in there, and numbers that we had never seen here. And since then all those people that had learned about trials and stuff and stuck with the whole thing, a lot of them got into trials and then they started to stay, and you've seen like it's shifted. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Kyle Rittenhouse was one of the first cases that got YouTubers on. Oh, that got a lot of people in here watching. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There are those cases that we just cannot resist. And, we're all guilty of that.
Oh, and then I'll be the judge
resist
said that wasn't meant personal in any way, Mrs. O. I'm just saying, just because you experience something, it's not the same circumstances.
Okay.
Depp was
Yeah.
on the hills of Rittenhouse, which caused it to explode. Yeah. So right around that time, I'll be the judge. That's what I'm saying. It just, everything changed. I mean, it was just crazy. Because the trials were not like that before. I'm trying to think about which ones, there was so many, and they were like Tim Jones and McNabb and
I am so into the whole true crime is very intriguing. It's very it's very, you invest a lot into that. And sometimes I need to take my breaks because then it starts messing with my psyche and I'm like, I need to stop watching this.
Oh,
for like
yeah,
X
right,
amount of
yeah.
time.
But
I've been to the what is it, the OJ, where where it happened. I went to the I don't get out of the car and like look around. I'm not like that kind of person, but I do drive to get a perspective. Or like
Yeah.
my daughter's boyfriend's from Modesto, so I said, hey, to my husband, take me over there to the Lacey Peterson, and when
right.
when I drove through that street, I kind of said, wow, this street is so narrow, and it gave me like a perspective a little different. It doesn't mean that I think he's innocent. I don't believe,
Right.
it's not none of that. But when you see the place, you think differently. So like that's one of the advantages of jurors going to the location is they get a better perspective, So that's something that I think they should do if it's possible because it helps. It really
Right.
does. And I think that if they made it, because they don't take the jury, but like if they would have taken the jury to the location, maybe it would have helped. Or do you think that that's problematic?
With the Lacey Peterson case,
Just to go to the scene of where it happened.
a lot of them take them. Like in Murdaugh, they took them out to Moselle. Did you follow Alex Murdaugh's trial?
No, I didn't, but I did get like the snippets. I really did.
Yeah, they took them out there. I think more and more do it. Bring them when possible to give them a perspective of what things were like. I believe, and they even didn't they do bring them out to the
The Parkland. Was it the Parkland?
I think. Yeah, but also I'm trying to think of one other recent one. They brought Murdaugh. They went out to, and what was another big one that was recent? Oh, with Daybell. Now, did they bring the jurors out to Chad Daybell's property? I don't know. Or
I think so.
oh, I know which one. Hold on. It was one recently. Let's see, but it wasn't Murdaugh. It was someone else too, because there was maybe it was Murdaugh. I know Murdaugh went to the Moselle. They went out there. That was definite, but I remember something else. I think whenever possible, yeah. Although in the
I
Reed
think that would be
case,
great.
Commonwealth originally told the media that they were ring videos of Karen Reed committing the crime, which were never true, so it swayed public opinion, and the CW never retracted. Now, that black box in that car, it was not able to tell them if there was an impact to her bumper. The jurors went to see the scene of the KR case as well. I wonder, because you would think with all the sonar and everything in a car, I mean, the newer, I don't know what kind of car she had, but like mine has sonar all
It was
over.
like a Lexus. It was like a Lexus.
Yeah, you would think it would have. You would think it would have it because even my van that I had before this one had sonar, and we're talking.
I have a
you know,
Lexus.
yeah, we're talking about 2006. So why wouldn't it have the sonar? And you think if there was an impact, that would be recorded, right?
Well, I mean, like it depends on the year of the cars and stuff because from certain years I think hers was fairly new because I have a 2019 small SUV Lexus, and like my car, if I'm driving and I'm getting like sometimes when the car's in front of me is like hitting like the brake thing will like go off and it'll like turn red, it'll say brake, and then it'll make me hit the brake faster so to avoid an accident. So these newer cars have these amazing features. So
Yeah.
it does shock me that they weren't able to get that information.
Yeah, so I'll be the judge says the Commonwealth never got the black box from the Lexus. Now, why? Does she still have that vehicle? And was there any damage to the Lexus's bumper? Was there damage?
Well, the tail light is the one that was broken, and that's what they say that he injured his arms on.
Okay, so just
When
the tail light was the only damage?
I guess there was, yeah, I believe it's just the tail light, and then they said that they found a hair on that area, where they're saying that it could be it's his or they do have their things. Now I do have a question for I'll be the judge. Just as much as I feel like she's guilty, like we say, based on why I think or whatever, but also based on a lot of the facts of the case that they did provide the minimal facts that they did provide. It convinced me so to that. But also, are you open to the possibility in the next trial to change your mind, or are you completely set on the not guilty? Like if they have additional, things that they bring in, or the case is done a little different, or, because the case is not going to be exactly the same.
Right.
I would hope, because that would be a disaster. Are you open to changing, or are you set? That's for the, I'll be the judge.
Right, and I'll be the judge's answer is something else that said the Commonwealth also presented a tape of the Sally Port where the car was stored in police custody. The tape was altered, and they said they had no idea how, and 45 minutes was missing from the tape.
So in those 45 minutes, it's assumed that they were doing something shady and
That they broke the taillight, or I don't know.
Or they're planting evidence?
Nobody had a ring. Like none of the people that lived on that street had any security camera or anything that would have picked up anything or seen if her taillight was out. And when let's see.
And nobody also saw somebody bringing a body out, according to you know what I mean? Like, it's just a disaster. Like, it makes no sense. You heard somebody inside of again, they don't have to prove it, and I do understand that it's not the defense job to, say what happened or know what happened. They don't have to prove anything.
Right.
They can just say whatever they need to say as long as it gives people reasonable doubt.
Right.
That's all. That's their job. So like I said earlier, they could have said the aliens did it, and if 1,000 people believe that the aliens did it, then it's good enough. As ridiculous as that sounds, I've seen it in other cases, so that's why I don't believe. Obviously, neither of them had a strong enough case for her to be found not guilty. or for her to be found guilty. So we're still in the same situation.
Right. I mean,
It
this
has
case
happened
does
again.
seem like I agree with. I'll be the judge that I can think of a case right now off the top of my head that I've seen recently that had as much reasonable doubt, like like Murdaugh. I don't know what reasonable doubt you could have. I mean, there was a video of him there right before the murders. How you could think he's not involved, that a lot of people would think, so maybe he wasn't the shooter, maybe there were other people involved, but I mean, he was guilty. I mean, it was like, it just, hey honey hush, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. Wow. It was proven the taillight was broken when she backed into John's vehicle earlier that day, she says. And I'll be the judge says, I am always open to reviewing the evidence from the trial, but I have to base my opinion solely based on the evidence. Okay.
Yeah, when you do, when you look at it, obviously how it's supposed to be done, yeah, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't be the best, I probably wouldn't be the best juror, to be honest, because, I'm very like, but to me, it's just the logic of it. Like the case was presented as such. She did it. This is what happened. She was drinking. She backed up into him. He died in the snow. That's the case for the prosecution. Here are their facts. This is what they're bringing into it. Then I hear the defense, you know, their situation, their experts, and to me, it just seems like a lot of it seems a little hazy to me, a little more in that sense. I feel like, in my view, the prosecution proved it more so to, than the other one. Of course, when with a reasonable doubt, they didn't prove it at 100%. That's why she was, you know, found it was a, mistrial because of that. But in my, I don't think I could have found her guilty either. I don't think that that would have been the right move. That would have been that wouldn't be okay to do. But I do feel like, again, like I said in the beginning, I think she did it without knowing. In that I can say I believe 100%. And I do believe that.
Right.
It's
Okay.
unfortunate for her.
So,
But,
okay. So now let's see. Honey Hush says once the FBI finishes their investigation, Mr. Laddie won't try her again.
But they already said they are going to go
Yeah,
forward
that's
with
what I
it.
heard. Yeah, they already said they're going to, Honey Hush. Then she said Mr. Laddie Echo was hurt today.
Ego, I think she means.
Who does she mean?
Ego.
Oh, his ego
Like
was
the
hurt.
ego.
Okay. His ego was hurt. He won't try again, but he already said so. He is. What do you expect when there was an attorney on the jury and a retired ex-police officer, Honey Hush said. He will back out of it, Honey Hush says.
I mean, I think that they actually already did say that they are going to proceed with
That's
it
what I
again if
heard.
they.
When I
Yeah.
first started watching this case, I'll be the judge said, I thought she was guilty because I thought they had more evidence. Since I've heard they had video evidence, but now I have no idea why they even charged it. Huh.
I just think they overcharged it. That's what I think.
So what is is it first degree manslaughter? Like what are the options for the jury had they been able
They could
to?
have found her guilty of is it involuntary manslaughter while because obviously she was intoxicated. isn't there such like where she could have been found like the lesser charge of,
Would be,
I don't know
yeah, would
exactly
be involuntary
remember.
manslaughter, right? Where she didn't mean to do
Yeah.
it, but the FBI will put a lot of pressure on the law enforcement since the trial is over, Honey Hush said. I'll be the judge said, of course he said he's going to retry. They always say that. They have a black eye. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what was the other case that was a mistrial and that they didn't retry it again? With Jodi Arias, she was a mistrial, right? And they had, didn't they have a, okay, they had a mistrial, but then didn't they also get hung up on the sentencing, but then the judge took it over or something?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, let me see, because it was 2013 and 2015, wasn't it, that she was tried? I believe, let me see, let me just make sure, because my memory
Okay,
is...
one of the worst cases was the Casey Anthony one. That one was, I don't know how that happened.
Oh, yeah, that was shocking. Oh, my gosh.
That one was terrifying.
Yeah.
But,
Between that and OJ. Those are two.
yeah, this has been pretty good. I called back. I called. I think it was maybe like a couple of years ago. I called in before. That was back when. I think it was on the Chris Watts.
Chris Watts?
Yeah, because that's when I last called, and then
Oh,
right now
wow.
I was like, oh, because I got the notification that said you were going live, and I was like, oh, let me check it out. Because I'm feeding on I'm still on the Karen Reed, like, I'm like, oh no. So
Let's
I knew
see.
you were gonna talk about it too.
Okay, they say yes. So it said Judge Sari Stevens declared a mistrial in Jodi Arias'. Oh, it was her sentencing retrial. But so she did, yeah. She had a retrial. It was mainly because of the jury in 2013, when Jodi's case was still in the penalty phase. An Arizona judge decided to declare a mistrial because even though the jury believed that Jodi was guilty, they were deadlocked and could not decide whether she deserved to get the death penalty or not.
Yeah, but a lot of the times when they get the death penalty, they always get overturned, unfortunately.
Yeah, so then, because she was first found guilty of first-degree murder in 2013. Yeah, that was something, and she had like 19 days on the stand. It was crazy. I used to just watch that like a Netflix miniseries.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean that was incredible.
Yeah.
She is
I
someone
recently
to
was
study.
watching the Jeffrey Dahmer case again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he wasn't trying to like get away. He was trying to claim.
Yeah,
insanity. Not
he was
insanity,
killed.
but,
He was killed in prison, right? How many years ago was he killed in prison?
I know they actually filmed the Dahmer, the Netflix documentary.
Right.
One of the scenes where he's in I don't know if anybody's watched it, but the liquor store where he goes to pick up,
Right.
it's like a block away from my house.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was so cool. They were filming here in my city.
Huh. Because Dahmer really lived in, where was he in? Was Milwaukee? Isn't he around Milwaukee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably in Milwaukee, Canada, was it?
Do you live out in California?
I do.
Okay.
I am in California.
Out in California.
It was great. It was great going on here, and I respect everybody's.
Yeah, no,
I really-
I don't
I
mind
love it,
different
I love
opinions
it.
at all. I mean, it's as long as everybody's, respectful, and that's fine. Everybody doesn't have to think the same, not at all. And especially with this case like this, yeah, there's differing opinions. And just like, I mean, in Sarah Boone too, there still may be people that think that, she was intoxicated and wasn't thinking clearly, and maybe she passed out. You know what I'm saying? There's been times even just like, I'm trying to think of, that's why I thought, like, oh gosh, did something happen? Like, you might say, oh, I'm just going to lay down, not even being drunk, right? I'm just going to lay down for 5 minutes, and I'm just going to lay down for 5 minutes, and I'll get that out of the dryer. I'm just going to lay down for 5 minutes, and I'll get that out of the oven. And maybe
even
you
when
just
you're a mom,
fall asleep, right? And be like, oh my gosh, I overslept. It's 10 minutes, that thing is burned. Well, whatever, like that. Like, what if she was just trying to say, and I'm not saying it's right, but that she's angry, they're fighting. We know they had like a really volatile relationship, okay? There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of, it wasn't like an ideal relationship. And however he got in the suitcase, as people just want to know, how did he get in the suitcase?
He did that voluntarily.
She says it was hide and seek, but who knows what it was? It could have been her have a sinister. Oh yeah, just let me see. I just want to see if you can get in there. Whatever it was.
Let's see if you fit in there.
Yeah, and then okay, let me out, and then she's she's getting like, let's say, a high off of being like she's already drunk, but also that she's in this power thing, that he's in the suitcase, and now she's going to tell him everything he's done wrong to her,
Yeah,
you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and and then just getting off on the little power trip. And maybe, like, this is what I thought, okay, maybe she went upstairs to scare him. No, I'm not getting you out of there. And then what if she absolutely just said, I'm just going to put my head down for 1 minute, and then I'll go down. And that can happen without you being intoxicated. You could fall asleep, right, when you don't want to. But if she's totally intoxicated, she could just be out. And then when she came to, like, did she really want that to happen? But then you start to look at the case more, and it looks like she actually, like, threw that suitcase down the stairs. It's just
I think if it would have been the first thing that you said, where she fell asleep and things like that, she would be working more with the attorney to say, hey, this was an accident, did it on purpose. Let's try to get me like a defense where I can say it was, involuntary. I will, agree to that. But she seems to be very defiant. Like, no, I didn't do it. Like, she's fighting it so much that she makes herself already look like she.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And yes, and it's just, it's so, it's just crazy. I'll Be the Judge wants to know if you watched the Phil Spector case in California.
Sometimes I do watch. I believe I did watch it. I'll watch a case, and then I will, like, maybe time will pass because there's so much in my brain, because I'm always watching different things. Like I just said, I watched the Dahmer one again. I'll recap to them. So I mean, that might be another one I might want to rewatch.
Right. And
thanks for the suggestion.
Then let's see.
Yeah, there's.
What did Honey Hug said? Anybody watching the Young Thug trial? No, I didn't watch that one. I watched the Wade Wilson.
Yes, that
tattoos. Yeah, that was crazy.
That man has so much anger in him. The mean guy. He's scary.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then it seemed like when he shaved the side of his head, he had even more offensive tattoos showing. It was almost like a fu to the jury. I thought, I mean,
yeah. There's definitely evil in this world.
Well, I hope you're okay, honey. Hush prayers.
Oh, what's going on?
She had an aneurysm in her aorta. That sounds scary.
Oh,
really scary. Heart surgery. When he says, let me out, and she says, this is for everything you've ever done to me, it's going to be too hard to overcome. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, but still, somebody could argue that she was just like, the judge on this Young Thug case is in a lot of trouble. Really? I didn't watch that, honey. But I know some people did here. Yeah, prayers, honey hush. I hope you make a full recovery. Phil Spector was about 20 years ago, but Alan Jackson was the LA prosecutor then. Alan Jackson was one of the lead attorneys for Karen Reed. Aha.
Oh,
Well, that's
I didn't know
interesting.
that.
I didn't know that either. That's interesting. I'll be the judge. Are you in California too? I'll be the judge. When he says, yeah, but when he says, let me out, and she's saying this is for everything you've ever done, you could argue that, someone could argue that it's still, this is for, like, she's just trying to scare him. Like, she's just in that, she got him where she wants him right now. And, she's going to scare him. And then she'll be like, okay, you can get out, whatever. But I think, I don't know, it's the big problem for Sarah Boone is now she'll be representing herself. That's going to be a circus. You're in Texas? Okay. Yeah, that's going to be an absolute circus.
I don't know, the Alec Baldwin case is coming up too.
Yeah, I mean, first it wasn't going to be, and then it was, and then what other one is coming up? Bunch like that dentist that poisoned his wife, and then there's a doctor I think he poisoned his wife, somebody, and then you've got all the ones that've got Jared Brightigan, who was killed by his ex-wife and her husband, who's from Stampin' Up. Do you follow that one?
No.
Yeah, well, they own there's a lot of Mormon murders, murder trials coming up. So you've got the one that poisoned her husband with that cocktail. She was flipping houses.
Yeah. The one that wrote the book?
Yes.
That she wrote a book for children?
Yes, that one. I want to see that trial when that comes. That's the one. And then I also want to see the one with the daughter from the Stampin' Up people who were accused of murdering for hire, Jared Brightigan in Florida. That's an interesting case, and it's really tragic. But I think that that whole family thought, I don't know. I don't even know if the parents or not. A lot of the Stamping Up consultants were really conflicted, and they wanted to stop because they felt like the parents did have something to do with it, and that the money could have been going to have this guy killed. And yeah, it was crazy. And Jose Baez is the lead attorney. Yep, on the Brightigan case. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and Donna Adelson. Oh my gosh, we can't forget that. You without a doubt will be glued to that case. Are you kidding? Yeah, definitely.
We're only halfway through the year.
I know. And I think she went upstairs and passed out, not intending to leave him all night. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I almost felt like, not sorry for her, but I mean, was she so drunk that she didn't realize, and people have done things, that have had terrible consequences that they didn't intend, for it to be like that, right?
Yeah.
How many, kinds of accidental deaths, if somebody.
But that's why they tell us. They tell us drink responsibly.
Right.
Can't drink, don't drink, because these are the types of things that happen. So when you like for example, if you have a weapon, if you have you're still responsible for your actions. If you ingest drugs, if you drink, you're still responsible for your actions.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's where the problem comes. What is it? There's a channel where they say
yes, drugs or drinking it's not an excuse for murder, right? But I'm just saying, like, you would feel for somebody that like didn't. Let's just say, okay. Let's just say, you know, Karen Reed or whatever. Let's just say she accidentally backed into him. Didn't know. Like, just she's so mad. You know, okay, go to your party, right? I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And just backs up, like, not because she's going to hit him, just backs up because she wants to peel out of there, get out of there. You know what I mean?
Or maybe you had the car unparked and hit the reverse, but the reverse on the car by,
Yeah, but
instead
like,
of
okay,
driving.
let's say, have you ever been like angry and you just speed off in your car?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so maybe she was just angry, right? And she's not thinking of hitting him, but she's going to get
Right.
the heck away from there, right? Go, go to your party. I'm going home. And
She still did go home. She went over there. To
right,
his
no,
house
she
and
went out of there, but
called
let's
him.
just say, like, she drives away angrily, right?
Mhm.
And she's not thinking that she hit him. And then goes home, and let's just say she's still pissed for whatever, right? Well, he's a jerk, whatever he is. Goes to bed, then realizes he's not home,
And she's even more mad.
right? And then, like, where the hell is he? Calls up some people. Where is he? Well, let's go back over there. Is he still there? And goes there and finds him. Now, just imagine for a minute, she had no idea that she hit him. Well, wouldn't she, like, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, the shock, like, wouldn't you just be, and let's say she really loves him, even though they have a volatile relationship, but that she loves him, wouldn't she be in absolute shock to see him laying in the snow and, oh my gosh, did I do, like, how did this happen? Like, what the heck?
But that's where I kind of like wonder, like, why did she say, it's not just one person that has said it, it's numerous people that have said that she said, did I do this? Did I hit him? And it's like, in that particular instance, I feel like maybe she could have had like a little bit of a flashback of something could have happened, or maybe she thought she dreamt it, or maybe she just her mind made her question that in the moment. And that's where the problem comes for me, because I mean, I would be like, oh no, what happened? Like, somebody help him, and I would still try to do that, but I don't think that would be something that would slip out unless you have that in your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't
I,
know. Like,
I don't know.
I'm kind of like, I guess because we all don't want, like, so, like, if you think of the worst case scenario, something like to happen to you, to be accused of something you didn't do, right? To be framed. Nobody wants to ever think that they're going to be framed. You know, at these, like, worst case scenarios happening to you. And then if you can't, you know, let's say, okay, did she drive the car drunk? Yeah, that's a big mistake, okay? She shouldn't have done that. She should have consequences for that, right? She could have killed someone, and yeah, and you know, I mean, he's dead, I know, but do we know that happened from that? But had she not been drinking, you know, how different would things have gone? But still, I mean, there's people that maybe don't realize they've done something. Like, I mean, even older people and stuff, when they're driving, maybe they don't realize they've done something, you know, backed into someone, let's just say. And then,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, but someone intoxicated, not know. Like, you know, I don't know. There's just so many, I guess it's like
Well, it's
nobody
the same
wants,
thing with the Alec Baldwin thing. Like, he says he
right.
doesn't remember doing that, but then they're like, well, no, this weapon couldn't have gone off unless you did that. And that's why they're presenting the case, because they're like, well, that isn't true. Like, the weapon, they've shown how the weapon wouldn't have, but like they say, if you're going to
Yeah, but
hold
that's a whole weird thing.
weapon,
Like, who
you
put the
don't
bullets
point
in?
it,
Who
you
put the
don't
bullets in the
point.
gun?
Exactly.
You know, and handed it to him. I mean, I don't think
I mean,
he would ever, I don't think he would ever fire a gun at someone that he knew had real bullets in it.
exactly. And they did say that she had told him to do it because she wanted to get an angle or a close up, right? And so it's almost like now a person can go to one person's gone, another person is probably, gonna have to um, go through the trial and possibly have to go, be put away for a little bit. But it's like these things are very. I would never even want to know what I would never want to be in a situation like
Right.
that
That's what I'm
again.
saying. Nobody wants to be in a situation like that. I guess it's like our worst nightmare to be in
Hmm.
some kind of situation like that where we are being framed or we're being set up, or we can't, like we're sure we didn't do something, but then someone's telling us that no, this is the way it happened, It's horrible. Now let's see. BB Princess, hello. She said there is no way she hit him. The car had no damage, for one. The cops are corrupted. And then Honey Hush said it was proven she couldn't have backed up and hit him by the FBI experts. See, the very first time I heard this case, like right when it was in the news, I had I don't know why I thought the picture in my head, and I still remember it, was like that there was, because I guess I was hearing everything all at once, and when they were at that bar, I kind of had them in a parking lot, like with an embankment of snow behind him, and that she had backed into him. But now, no, now it's in front of this house, and I know how it really goes, but I always have that visual that she backed into him. And even then I thought, like, did she not know he was there, or what, it's crazy. So the cops are corrupt, right? I'll be the judge. But they didn't arrest her for DWI. Okay. And has she been charged with DWI or anything?
I mean, she was arrested and for all that, and then she had to pay. I think it was a $50,000 cash bail. So I mean, I don't know. I'm sure the charges are there for her
Okay. Hi, it's Meg.
driving the DWI.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's like a lot of people are thinking that no, she didn't do this. The cops are corrupted. And hey, you know what? There are bad cops. Okay, there are
Definitely.
bad cops. There are bad. I mean, there's good and bad in every profession. But there are bad cops. Yes, there are. Just because someone's a police officer doesn't mean they're a great person. Doesn't mean they're a morally good person, there
I've
are,
known both sides, so you're right.
I mean, there's good and bad in everyone, everything. So, yeah, they could be corrupt. I mean, did they have a reason? Like, was there a beef with this guy? Why would he be going to their house if they were having issues? Like, I mean, was there something going on? These guys are bad, BB Princess says. They're bad. They're actually a video out there of these guys in the bar with him, fighting with him already before they took him to the house. I'll be the
They weren't
judge says
fighting.
no,
They
she
were
was
like
never charged with
sparring, like playing with
DWI.
the like how guys do when they're goofing around. They're like, but it wasn't like a actual fight. It wasn't like if that was the case, they would have kicked them out for because of altercation. I think they were like playing around, like how when they're sparring or like
Right.
playing with each other, like they're still somehow like childish.
Yeah. Look how they
They're just being
switched the
goofballs.
view from left to right and didn't tell anybody. With one cop, Higgins, he had a crush on Karen. Well, if he had a crush on her, BB, why would they try to is that one that you
Framer?
think? Yeah, Framer. You know, I don't know.
And wasn't she flirting with that other guy too? Like,
I don't
just,
know.
you know.
It just sounds like a big mess, and maybe I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens when they retry the case because as of right now, I do believe that they said that they are going to do it.
Yeah,
So,
and see, unless they decide they're not going to. I was trying to think of which one that they decided not to try. Carolyn, did you see the picture of John's arm? No, I don't think I did, honey. I don't think I did.
the injuries to his arm that they said that they look like dog bites or
Yeah, I think that. Are you saying that about the dog bites, honey? Hush.
the injuries to the arm that the prosecution said that they came from his arm hitting the tail light when it broke and that it, but then the defense says that it looks like dog bites or dog scratches or.
Right, but
I
somebody
wish they
was
do
saying
find that
that.
dog.
Oh, they didn't find the dog? Oh, right, he gave the dog away,
Um,
didn't he? Or something like that?
yeah, they rehomed him. I think that if they're smart, they should just, they got
That's
nothing to
weird.
hide.
That's
And
weird too, right? No, not an actual fight, but Mrs. O, did you see in the video where they were leaving the waterfall? Brian Alberts is holding Brian Higgins' arm back and he is pointing right towards Joe before they walk out. BB Princess said there would be no question. This shouldn't even have been a question of guilt or not guilt on the murder. And then Honey Hush says, Carolyn, look at it, please. You always had dogs. Let me see. Yeah, I haven't heard what they're going to do at all. Well, they did say it. It does say that right now out in the news outlets. The FBI is still very much involved. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those cops get arrested. Well, the lead investigator was relieved of his duties, BB Princess, and they're doing an investigation. Yes, they are. Honey Hush says yes, and lied saying they didn't know where the dog went to. Dog bites, you think they look like dog bites, okay. But wasn't there like a German Shepherd?
yeah, that's
So
what they said. That
it,
basically there's the theory that he basically went in there. They got in a fight. They beat him up, and then they put him outside, and they framed her, and they put the, I guess I don't know. They framed her, and then they got rid of the dog. They sold the house, and
now
they
could it,
blew their
okay, here's
phone.
I'll play devil's advocate, okay. Let's say that she did hit him. Could it have been any other animal that came around after the fact? You know what I mean? Maybe another
I mean,
dog.
it could have
Maybe
also been that he was he. It could have also been that he, um, like at some point not became conscious, but maybe started to, and he kind of maybe like dragged onto the thing, and if there was broken glass there, he could have scraped his arm. I don't know. It's just there
yeah,
could be a
I
lot of
don't know. I mean, you could,
possibilities.
and again, there's more reasonable doubt. You know, I mean, could it have been another dog that was let out of his house? You know, and went across the street when he saw that and scratched it? Could it be another kind of an animal that scratched it? I don't know. He gave the dog away. He refloored his basement and sold the house. 50,000 less in this seller's market. Wow.
I would sell the house too, if I'm frank with you. I would not want to keep a home where something like that happened. And I would probably have to redo the floors if I'm going to sell it if they were damaged. I mean, I would sell the house. I couldn't live there anymore.
But how did he say the floors got damaged?
They could have been damaged to begin with.
Oh yeah, we can't play guessing games. Yeah, I believe, yeah, honey hush. If the prosecution can't prove their case, that's it. The defense doesn't have to find out what it could have been. You're exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's the
So
same thing as if she's found the next one not guilty and they want to go forth and charge the people in the house with his murder, then they're going to have to prove that too. And
right,
it's the
right.
same thing.
Oh yeah, that would have to be a whole nother, case. Somebody would have to have enough probable cause affidavit to arrest someone else. Can't just
And
be.
again, I don't think they'll have enough for that either.
No, I don't think they will. And they might. Who knows? I mean, that they're not. The burden of proof. They have the burden of proof, and are they going to be able to show enough proof? Because there's a lot of reasonable doubt here.
Definitely.
So it should be an interesting thing if they're going to retry it. But it's 4:18. I've got to get to bed. It was really nice for you to come on. I had a good conversation. I hope you come back again.
Okay. Oh, I'm always, I'm always in here. I don't always.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna do more call-ins and stuff, and yeah, because we always used to do that in the past. It was fun. It was fun tonight. Thank you for calling in. Thank you guys for the conversation. I appreciate hearing the different views. I like it.
Thank you.
Everybody
It was a
being able to
pleasure.
discuss it.
Good night
That's
to everyone.
Yeah, you too. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. But thank you so much for tuning in and for the great conversation. See you
Okay, take
guys. Good night. Everybody have a good night. God bless. Love you guys. See you. Let's see, I have to go this way. I have to get them. Oh, wait, before we go, how could I forget, Kevin? Before we go, we always wind down. We play a word game. It gets us out of some of the cases we talk about are absolutely horrific. So it winds us down, and we use our brains a little bit before we go to bed. And if it's going to cooperate with me, we just do the daily puzzle. It's easy. As soon as it wants to be nice and play. Here we go. And then we'll go to bed. I don't even know where you guys. Come on, word cookies. You're being ridiculous. So yeah. See what happens, right? Will the prosecution say, yeah, forget it, or what? Who knows? I can't believe it's July 2nd. Can you guys? Honey doesn't think they're going to do it again. I don't know. You think he's going to change his mind? Because they already announced that he is. I don't know. This is an easy one, right? This is super easy. This is like the baby one. Hi, Margot. Where are we now? with a D, I dig. And what was he going to say today? His ego was hurt. Yeah, they also say that after a loss, you're right. And he could say, he could have a press conference and say they're not going to, right? Yeah. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. You guys dab. See? We'll get you into this. I'll be the judge. But, yeah, no. What are you going to do, right? We'll have to see. Maybe they'll say something. Maybe they won't, all right, tomorrow. And it's possible. I think there's been other cases. I just can't. It's not coming. My mind is. I'm tired. So it's. Oh, don't worry about you. Trapped the wrong letter. But I could swear that there was a case where they said they were going to try it again, and then they decided they weren't going to. Right? Yeah. What are you going to say right after it? He hasn't even. Yeah. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna regroup and do it again. Right? I don't know. July 2nd. 22nd. The 2nd. If you search me, you'll see. There's another honey hush. The person tried to steal my ID. But you're the honey hush that used to be here, right? Are you the honey hush that used to be here? I'm pretty sure you are, right? I'll definitely look in. Yes, I did cover a little bit of that Crystal Rogers case, and when is that going to trial? What's the next trial coming up there? I'll be the judge. What's the next one? Oh, yeah. Okay, honey. I remember, yeah. I remember. Of course I remember. You're from North Carolina, right? I remember a lot. Sometimes I forget, like, little things, like... And I'm like, wait, I didn't remember that. And then I'm like, okay. But, Baldwin is next week? Oh, Baldwin is next week. Is it really? Wow, okay. Huh. That'll be interesting. What was I going to do here? I was always going to let the people in. Baldwin is next week. Travel chaos as a major airline cancels over 800 flights amid a strike. Ooh, there's going to be an airline strike? That's not good. That's not good at all. All right. I'm trying to get to the. My gosh, my computer is just being a little jerk tonight. Let me try to close all these tabs to the right. Close tabs to the right. Hopefully that'll do that. Okay. Close those tabs. Close them, close them. Did we do lies? Plural, yes. Legends. Gels. Sign. Didn't we do sing? How did we not do sing yet? I thought we did sing and singe. That's crazy. Boy. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to get back to the chat to see if I just tried to close like all of the tabs to the right, but it didn't want to listen to me. Doesn't want to let me in. I can't even shut the live tab because it won't let me back into the oh, it's crazy. Yeah, you guys are probably screaming out the word. Come on, baby. Hotel gives woman a room key to a random man. She records everything. What? Okay, now hopefully I want to get back in now. Let me see. Where's the... Aha. Okay. So go this way. Baldwin next week, but oh my gosh. Just as I was seeing what you said, but this person tried to cause trouble for me. Oh no. Saying ugly things to people, and I've never been oh, that's terrible, honey. That's terrible. There are people like that just like to cause trouble for other people, you know? They do that. They do that to creators too, honey. They make creator accounts and then they make them go in and say things or ask for money or like weird things that they wouldn't do, and then you see all these creators come back and they write a post about it. Like, if anybody ever said this, that, or the other thing, that wasn't me. Someone's cloning my account and yada, 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 you know? It's terrible. Lang? Uh-oh. Shoot. Guile? Oh, let's see. Guile. Nope. What else did you guys say? Line I have. Don't I have line? Oh, get out of here. I don't have line? Kevin, how could I not have line? I have lines. Oh, that's just crazy. I thought I had lines. Oh, wait, there's a special level. We got to do the special level. That means every word in the special level is going to have an H now, okay? We know it's got to be hinges. Okay, his, hen, she, shin, shine, let's see, sigh. Okay, that one up there would be, can't do inch, there's no C. Hinges, like, oh, shingle. That's a good one. Another one, let's see. Shingle. English. Okay, and then hinges would be oh, I'll be the judge is a good one. I got English too. We both got it. What do we do here? Let me see. What do we do? We need two more, guys, and then we can call it a night. We did shin. We need this to be an I or an H or G. Oh, how about, oh yeah. Has to have an H in it. Kevin. Which one is it? All right, there we go. I don't know. Let me see what you guys said. Anything? Glenn, yeah, Glenn. No, it has to have an H in it. It has to have, oh, hens. Do we do hens? Okay, we've got hens, and then we just have to get one more with an H, which has to be, come on, ING. SH. Ingalls? Nope. hens. Yep, I got hens. It's got to have an H in it on this one. G-H, yeah. How about, wait a second. N-E-I-G-H. Oh, how about N-E-I-G-H-S? No. N-E-I-G-H-S. Oh, come on. L-I-G. No, we gotta have an H. Shine. Didn't I have shine? Let me see. I have it there. Shine right there, yeah. Hinges. Yeah, you keep forgetting the H. Okay, come on, really? We can't get this last one. All of us here can't get it. S-H-E-I-N, shine. No. L-E-I-G-H. No. No. Oh, come on, guys. I gotta go to sleep. You gotta help me. I hate to put this away for this. I'll be the judge. Does the H need to be? No, it doesn't need to be where the butterfly is. It just has to be in the word. I don't think it has to be. At least I don't think it does. I've never. Now you're making me think about something. Oh, here comes Kevin. I don't know. Oh, what about sleigh? Did we do sleigh? Hey, we got it! And that's not for the H, so yeah, sleigh. Oh my gosh, you got it too, Margot. You got it after me. I waited all this time. When I looked, nothing was even there. Oh my goodness.
Can you move to your left, Carolyn? I can't breathe.
Come on, Kevin. You don't really want everybody to know that you had to come here again tonight, do you? Oh. Let's see. Galaxy Tab. I had let her in. She's not coming in. Let's go for that. Oh, there she is.
Here I am.
Here you are. Oh, beautiful.
Look at little Miss Muffet.
Sat on your tuffet.
You can see it.
Yeah, very nice.
That's nice.
Nice. Okay. Anyone? Oh, here comes Margot.
Oh, I can't hear her.
You can't hear it, Margot?
Well, now I can, but I couldn't.
She didn't say anything yet.
Hello? No, I meant I couldn't hear the sound.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. Love you guys. God bless. Have a good night. We'll see you later.
I like how that looks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Bye now.
It just changed that.